Usually when I come to the motor show, I make like a big overview video, which I've already done a few days ago. And if you want to see that, the whole of the 45th Bangkok Motor Show 2024, drop down into the description. I'll throw you a link there. And then when I walk around all the halls and all the hundreds of cars and the things going on, I'll usually find something that's interesting, something that's unique, something that's a bit quirky, and I'll make a special video on it. And today I'm doing exactly this, because I walked into this motor show and I found Tommy Kyra here. The original ZZ and the ZZ2. Absolutely amazing to see these cars. And this one, the ZZ2, it's the only one in the world. I have never seen this in my life before. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tommy Kaira, in case you don't know who they are, a little bit about these cars, and then I'm going to tell you what the heck these two cars are doing at the Bangkok Motor Show. So the first thing to do is explain what is Tommy Kaira, because this is a niche Japanese performance brand that not a lot of people know. And basically, to put the story into 30 seconds, they were founded in 1986, so 3.5+ decades ago. And they started off tuning the Mercedes 190e, which was a thing at the time. But very quickly, they went on to the Japanese brands. And they're kind of most famous, or at least I remember them mostly, for the Nissans they did. Things like the 350Z, GTRs, 300ZX, even the Nissan March. They also did things like the Toyota Vitz, and they also do K cars as well. So quite a lot of things got the makeover. Then, in the early 90s, they decided to build their own cars, and that is the next bit of the story. So we'll start with the ZZ, because this kicked off their story. They're tuning cars, they're modifying cars, then they wanted to build their own thing, as a lot of people do, but a lot of people just dream about it. The two partners who formed this firm, they went out and did it, and this was the product. Now this thing, to be honest, it looks like a cross between an Elise and a beach buggy. But what's interesting with this story is, it's a Japanese car designed in Japan, but they built them in Norfolk in the UK. They built 200 and they shipped them back to Japan. It has a 2-litre SR20 DE inline 4 engine, tuned up 178 horsepower. They kept the carbs, they put a 5-speed manual on it, and it's just 650 kilograms. That means it will rocket 0 to 100 in 4 odd seconds. They sold out like that, and then they had ideas to go one step further with that one. So the ZZ had given the Tommy Kaira guys a taste of building cars. Then they went for this, the ZZ2. And this, to be honest, looks like a proper mini supercar. There's a lot of the McLaren F1 in here, especially in the flanks. And there's a lot of the Ferrari 360 Modena, I think, in here as well, in the back hatch, and this rear end and the lights as well. But it's got its own style, its own distinction. They wanted to hit the big time with this car, but unfortunately, despite all their best efforts, they built 220 of the ZZ. They built one of this car. This is the only one in the world. It's kind of famous around the world. It's never been to Thailand before. This is the first time in nearly quarter of a century the Tommy Kyra ZZ2 has come to Thailand. So just for that alone, it is worth making some video for sure. And I like a lot of the details. These lights, they kind of quite Ferrari 360, quite a lot of like Renault Sport of the era there. You can see the air intakes here, and you can see the detailing here. And I like, although this is quite a simple, clean shape, there's a lot of detailing here. They've got 2 big intakes on the roof, and I really like that detail here. And under the bonnet, we can see the suspension there. This is quite a work. Alloy filler cap. And again, we've got a big intake coming in here. Neatly designed. I'm going to talk about the engine in a minute, because that is well packaged. You can see the badging on the back here, twin exits, and again, we've got a diffuser on the back. So this car, although it was built in 2001, that is still quite a relevant shape. For the powertrain, the Tommy Kaira guys didn't stray too far from their blueprint. They dropped in the twin-turbo RB26 engine that came out of the R32 GTR, an absolute rocket of an engine which they tuned up to 542 horsepower. Then they jumped one step ahead of the curve by giving this car four-wheel drive, the whole package, onto a 6-speed manual gearbox with the alloy chassis and the composite body style. Again, weighed in about 1,200 kilograms and is a rocket. So let's have a look inside the car. And you got to fiddle around and find out where the door handle is if you don't know, but I like the way that's cleanly done down underneath, and it keeps the whole side really flush and clean. Inside the cockpit, this is pretty nice, and surprisingly, for me at 185 centimeters, we've got plenty of leg room as well. It's pretty nice. I like this big center trunking in carbon fiber, and I like the way it molds around the gear stick, and the gear stick is offset at an angle towards the driver. That is quite nice. Got a mono steering wheel, we've got a digital display here, we've got the controls for the radio, the heater, that kind of thing in the middle. It's quite nice, and I like some of these details. The alloy handle here, the alloy pull handle, the alloy window winder, carbon fiber trim there, more alloy on the handbrake lever and the gear stick again, I should say. It's pretty nice inside actually. I mean, it needs a few details to modernize it. The dashboard, kind of feeling its age a little bit. It needs the leather putting on there. But that has stood time pretty well. So the next question is, the final question really, I know what you're thinking, why is the ZZ, which is built from 1996 to 2000 here, and why is this one built in 2001 and a one-off in the world, why are they at the Bangkok Motor Show? So, to answer that question, I need to ask one of the booth staff, what is going on here? Because these cars, it's not cheap and it's not simple to ship them over here. The space in the motor show is not cheap either, and they have built a really nice booth. So they have got plans. These cars are still bubbling away in Tommy Kyra's imagination and planning.
Hi, so here is the Azapa booth. Azapa does design for system for the cars and designing manufacturing process and designing EV conversion and also designing the system of EV conversion as well. And today we display these two cars, which is Tommy Kyra ZZ and Tommy Kyra ZZ2. The reason why they're here is because they cooperate with Azapa to manufacture in overseas. But since we are looking for investors who have interest to become manufacturers. And also since the Azapas have a knowledge of EV, when the investor interests to combustion engine to EV, that is possible as well. So that's why they're here to show that we can do the EV conversion and also we can produce Tommy Kaira as well.
Just before I finish, one of the most famous car journalists in Thailand has rocked up on the booth, so I need to ask him what he thinks of Tommy Kaira, what it means to him.
Hello, it's Allison fan page. My name is P, come from XO Autosport. My impression about the Tommy Kaira begin at the 90 era. I saw a Skyline, M20 and M30 modified from Tommy Kaira. Look very strange in that era. But nowadays we really surprised that this Tommy Kaira CC and CC2. There's only one car in the world, all custom made by Tommy Kaira. So surprised, installed with RB26 engine.
So that's it for my quick look at Tommy Kaira in Thailand. You know me, you know my YouTube channel. I want to bring you different things. I want to bring you quirky things going on the car scene in Thailand. These two cars, the ZZ and the ZZ2, they're kind of famous, but we've never seen them in Thailand before. So when they rocked up here, I had to stop and bring you what was going on. So anyway, these guys have got a big dream to build and manufacture cars in countries outside Japan, maybe Thailand. That's what they're here for. So if they're lucky, someone pops into the booth and says, I want to kind of build these, I want to modernize them, I want to put EV power into them. Who knows? We could see these in Thailand, and Thailand's only ever had one indigenous sports car, the Atam, which I'm going to bring you one day at some point. And they built about 15 maybe of those. And before you shout at me, there was also Icarus, but that was a one-off, like this. So that's another reason for dropping by here and showing you it, because the ZZ2 is a one-off car. And anyway, I'm just going to show you a little bit of their screen, because they have got dreams of a ZZ3. Who knows what the future holds for these guys, but in the meantime, they are famous for tuning up some of the greatest cars to come out of Japan. And they're still building tuning parts, they're still modifying cars, still doing aero parts. So this company is alive and kicking, and it's looking to kick really hard. And on that note, I'm out of here.